So once our new representative has decided they're ready to apply to our team and they've clicked the big red apply button on our PRP page, they'll be directed to the application page. On here, they're going to need to fill in their name and address details, their email and confirm that, and also at least one contact telephone number. They're also going to need to pop in their date of birth because all of our representatives do need to be over 18, and when you appoint them, you will need to see their ID. And finally, they'll need to check the little terms and conditions box and then click the green submit button. Once they've done that, they will then receive a notification on screen that their application has been received, and they'll also receive an email, and you will receive an email to your inbox informing you that you've had a new application from a representative to join your team. So the next part that I'm going to show you is where you can then find that representative's application and what you're going to need to do with that next. So you'll need to log in to your main representative account, and you'll need to be working from the Manage My Representative Business page. So this page will be now very familiar to you, but where you may not have gone before is into the My Team Office section. So if I click on My Team Office, you can see that you've got a section here called Leads, and that's where you're going to find all of your new applications from your new team members. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that section. And you'll see then that the lead page presents itself, and if you scroll down, you can see here that I've got a new application from a new lead. So when this page comes up and your representative has applied, what you should get is a nice pink box with a green appoint button. Now, if for any reason there's been an issue with the representative's application, so for example, they may have entered some incorrect details when they've applied, or it may be that they have been a representative in the past and they still have an active account, or even just that they've been a representative before but it was a long time ago, but their telephone number or email address may still be linked to a previous account, this box may come up grey and you won't be able to appoint them at that time. What you can do is make a phone call to Avon head office on the usual number and ask them to have a little look into that for you. But let's assume that our new representative has an application that's gone through absolutely fine and you're able to appoint them. So of course at this stage you will be with them, whether that's either in person doing an appointment face-to-face or online and doing a video call. For the purposes of this training video, I'm just going to run through the physical steps of how you open that representative's new account for them. With the appointment, when you're actually doing that live with a new representative, you will of course be talking about other things, about their goals and what they'd like to achieve with their Avon business. You'll be explaining to them some of the basic processes of how they get started up, and possibly showing them the starter kits, and explaining to them how they can use their brochures and online stores, etc. But for now, we're just going to look at the very simple, straightforward steps of physically opening that representative's account. So the first thing we're going to need to do is click on Appoint. And you'll see here that what comes up now is our online appointments page. So the representative's details should already be populated. So you'll have their personal information and the contact information. You'll have their billing and delivery address. And the first thing that you're going to need to physically input yourself is the number of years that they've been at that address. So if it's under 3 years, Avon will require you to add an additional address, so a previous address, and that box will come up for you. If it's over 3 years, which this one is, it's 5, then that's absolutely fine and you won't need to add any additional information. The other thing that you're going to need to do is ask your rep when you appoint them if they have a safe location. So is there somewhere that their deliveries can be left if they're not at home? That might be their garden shed, for example, or a trusted neighbour. And you'll have a little drop-down selection list here where you can pop in that information. But for now, I'm going to put that there is no safe location. So that just means that the delivery driver won't leave that parcel anywhere. It would need to be that the rep rearrange their delivery. So if they do have a safe location, it is much, much better for the rep to actually put that in there, which you would do for them. So we then click on proceed. So the next page will load. And as you see, if we scroll down, we've then been given some more information. So the account information that we've been given so far is the representative's area number. Their campaign first order we need to select. So at the moment we're in campaign 14. And so I'm going to appoint this representative into campaign 14. Now, if we were towards the end of campaign 14, I might feel that it's better for that representative to be appointed into campaign 15. Whatever campaign we appoint them into will be the campaign brochures that they receive in their starter kit. So if we only have a couple of days until the campaign closes, it would be better for the representative to appoint them into the following campaign, which in this case would be campaign 15. But as we're right at the start of campaign 14, I know that that representative will have plenty of time to get their first order in before the close of the campaign. So I want them to get campaign 14 brochures. The other question that we're asked here is, has this person been a representative before? Now, I know that my representative hasn't, so I'm going to click no. The other thing that we'll see here is the account limit. So this is going to be that representative's first order limit. This means that Avon are giving them the opportunity to order up to £450 worth of products for their customers and to have those delivered before they require payment. Sometimes you may see a 0 here. If that's the case, it means the rep has been offered a cash account, and that's something I'll explain at another time. But in this case, the great news is that this new representative has a lovely starting limit to get their Avon business off to a brilliant start. The next thing that we need to do, which is really important, is check the representative's ID. So you'll see down towards the bottom, we have a drop-down list where we can select the type of photo ID that we need to see. So when we appoint a new representative, we need to see 2 forms of identification, one of those being a photo ID and the other being an address ID. There are some workarounds if the applicant doesn't have photo ID, and I'll discuss that with you if the need ever arises. So for this representative, we have seen her driving licence. If we input that in on the drop-down menu, the screen will have a little moment while it updates, and then it will actually ask us to add in some information from the driving licence that we've seen. So I know that the details of the driving licence number were as follows. The other thing that I've seen from this representative is her address ID. So again, we have a list of options from utility bills to financial statements and rent books, or even a HMRC document. And that is the ID that I've seen for this representative. So once I've entered that address and photo ID information, I'm going to go ahead and click on the pink appoint button. And again, the page will load. And I've had a little issue here because it's come up saying that the user with the same email ID already exists. However, I do know that at the moment that is a glitch on the system that I'm having with my back office. So I'm going to ignore that for the time being and just continue to show you what to do next.